Well, again, a very good morning to all my dear students. So again, I'm here to teach you, and today I'm gonna teach you the topic tenses, which is common for 6th, 7th, and 8th standard. If you go towards the upper or higher classes, 9th and 10th will be same for tenses. Tenses are very important. It is very important part of English. Without tenses, believe me, I'm saying without tenses, you guys can never be able to solve your English. Tenses is the backbone. Again, tenses is the backbone of English subject. So let's start. What are tenses? We'll start from zero. We'll start from beginning. What are tenses? So tenses, simply any of the student can say tenses are of three types. Very first one is past, another one is present, and the third one is future. These three are the types of tenses. But are tenses equivalent to the time, or is there any connection between tenses and time? Sometimes students nearly gets confused that tenses and time are same, but no, these are not same in any of the sense. This is not same. Why so? Time, if I say measurement, can I measure tenses? No, I cannot, because I cannot measure what is past, what is present, what is future. Yes, I can measure time for say hour, for say seconds, or minutes, or decades, or centuries, or fortnights, etc., etc. But time can be measured, whereas tenses cannot be measured. So why time and tenses I am talking about same? Let me tell you here. This is just an introductory class. So what are tenses actually? Tenses tell us at what time the activity happened, or will happen. So for the sake of your understanding, I am taking an example. For say I am teaching, whereas I will write I was teaching. One more sentence I am writing, I will be teaching. So if I look at my subject, that is I, in all the sentences, number 1, 2 and 3 are same, that is I and I. And teaching is my verb, which is in continuous form of present, past and future. Teaching is also same. Subject and verb both same. What changes here is the auxiliary or the helping word. But with sentence number 1, I got to know that sentence is of present tense because of the auxiliary or the helping verb am. If I choose sentence number 2, then I was teaching. Only again the helping verb is changed, that is was. And in the third one, if I see I will be teaching, again will be future tense. So what tenses are doing here? Tenses tell us, it is telling me at what time the activity happens. So in the sentence number 1, it is telling me that the activity happened in the present time, whereas happened, that is the past form. In sentence number 2, it is telling me that activity happened in the past tense, and in the third one, or will happen, that is sometime in the future it will happen. So what are tenses? Again I am telling you, tenses tell us at what time the activity happens, happened, or will happen. It is giving me a connection, it is telling me the accurate time. That past, what is past? Past is something which is over, finished, completed, which is complete, 100% done, is called past. When I talk about present, what is present? Present is right now, the moment, now, nowadays, which is happening or which is going on. If I talk about future, that the time will come, which is not yet, but somewhere in the coming time it will come, is called future. Now let's talk something more about that what we have read till yet, that there are 3 types of tenses: past, present and future. Now every part has 3 subcategories, whether it is present, whether it is past, whether it is future. Every has 3 categories. What these 3 categories are? The first one is simple, second one is continuous, third one is perfect, and the fourth one is perfect continuous. Either present could be past, present or future, but these 4 parts you will find in every tense. So let's understand why we name these particular parts as they are. Very first one, simple. What is simple? A simple word, maybe you have listened for many of the times in your life. The design is simple. The boy is wearing a simple shirt. The color is simple. The exercise is simple. But what is this simple actually? Simple means which simply tells me about the happening of the action, that the action happened. For example, if I write I play, or I teach, or I sleep. So it is just telling me that activity and action happened. What action happened? Action of being played, that is play. Simply it is telling me that I play. Now at what time I play, whether my activity is in continuous or processing, whether it is completed or not, it is not giving me any of the extra information. It is simply telling me that I play. At what time I play, either activity is processing or over or not, it is not telling me anything. Simply it is telling me I play, I teach, I sleep. So when simple tense is used to tell you simply about the happening of the action, and it does not give any of the extra information. It does not give me any extra information. Simply it is telling me happening of the action. Now if I talk about the second part, as the name suggests, continuous. So when I say continue your class, continue your studies, continue your activity, what does it mean? Continue means which is still going on, which is still in the process. So when the action is still going on, we call it as continuous. For example, if I write here that I am teaching, so it is telling me that the activity is happening at the time of speaking. Right now I am speaking, and right now what I am doing? I am teaching. So it is telling me that the activity is not finished yet, and it is not simply giving me that I teach, but it is giving me some extra information. That is what, that the activity is happening at the time of speaking. Next part is perfect. So what is this perfect? Many a time, several times in your life, you have heard a word perfect. For example, if I say he drives perfectly, or he speaks perfect English, his dressing sense is perfect. What is this perfect? Perfect means which is up to the mark, which is 100 complete or finished or over. So when the activity is complete, finished, or the activity is over, we call it as perfect tense. For example, that I have played. It means that sentence number 1 is simply telling me that I have played. It is not giving me any extra information. Whereas in continuous tense, it is telling me that the activity is still going on. It is not finished. And when I talk about perfect tense tells me that the activity has finished. It is completed. It is over. It is 100%. It is perfect in terms. Now, if I know what is continuous, if I know what is perfect, can you tell me what is perfect continuous? Perfect continuous is that the activity is finished at the time of speaking but it may or may not continue in future. What I meant when I am telling you this thing, that my activity is completed at the time of speaking. Chances are there, probability is there, it may or it may not continue in future. For example, if the rain is falling and at 4 o'clock, suppose this is 4 o'clock, which is the present time, rain is falling here, rain starts at 4 speaking, at the rain has fallen for 1 hour. Now I am not sure whether it will stop at 4 o'clock, it may continue till 4:30 or 5 o'clock, or it may not continue. Then I call it as perfect continuous tense. What we have studied? Tenses, 3 types: present, past, future. 4 types of the of all these 3: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Now we will study about the structural formulas of this. Let me tell you just one formula I will teach you today, because form plus s or es plus object plus adverb, which is optional. Now subject I put I, verb first form plus s or es. Now the question arises where to use s and where to use es, or where to use verb first form. Three things you can see: verb first form, s and es. Why to use it? How to use it? So if my subject is singular plus third person, then I will use either s or es. But the most important thing in this topic is subject must be singular as well as third person. If it is singular and not third person, the condition will not be implied. If it is third person but not singular, again this will not be implied. It must be singular as well as the third person, then and only then I will put s or es. To make you understand it in a more complete way, in a more perfect way, let me take few of the examples. What are the subjects? I, we, you, he, she, they. One more it is there. So I is singular, it is singular, but is it third person? No, it is first person. So s and es I am not going to use with I. We is plural plus first person, again I will not use s or es. You is plural as well as singular, but it is second person, again I am not going to use it. Now he is singular as well as third person, I will choose s or es here. She is again singular plus third person, again I am gonna choose s or es here. They is plural plus third person, so I will not use s or es. Now the question arises, person, or how I will identify that what pronoun is which person. So let me explain you this. Rubbing the board for the sake of your understanding so that you can understand it. Let's take an example. What is English? English is just not a subject, but it is a language also. And why we need the use of language in our life? We use language to express what we are thinking. Suppose if I want to tell you to switch on the fan, how I tell you to switch on the fan? Definitely I am thinking that I am thinking in my brain that I must tell you to switch on the fan. But I need words, and that word is called the language. So the person, what is the purpose of language? To express or to talk, or the conversation. Now definitely if I am conversing to you, if I am talking to you, right now I am communicating to you through this video. Communication I can do alone. For conversation I need two persons. Anybody who talk would definitely need another person to talk with. I cannot talk to the wall, I cannot talk to this marker, I cannot talk to the table. I need somebody alive, some person who speaks, who responds to talk. Now the person who start the conversation, suppose I start the conversation, so definitely I will converse with someone. Suppose this is video, but suppose if you are in front of me, I will talk to you. The person who start conversation is the first person. The person who start the conversation is the first person, I will talk to you. The person with whom I am talking is called the second person. Now definitely if we both are talking, then we must be talking about something. I can talk about your brother, your sister, your school, your education, universe, English, anything we can talk about, telephone. So right now about what we are talking? We are talking about English. We are talking about grammar part, which is called tenses. So definitely I talk to you and we are talking about tenses. So the person who start the conversation, I is the first person, you to whom I am talking second person, and about what we are talking is called the third person. Let me write for you. First person who starts conversation, second person with whom the conversation is being held, third person about whom the conversation is. So it is very simple. First person who starts the conversation, that is I. Second person with whom the conversation is going on, that is you. Third person about whom the conversation is going on. For example, if I ask you, how is Ram? So definitely you are not Ram. If I talk, how is Ram? I am talking about Ram. Ram is the third person. Who is asking? I is asking. I is the first person. From whom I am asking? I am asking from you. You is the second person. So today we have learned the structural formulas, formula for simple present tense. I have told you where to use S or ES. S or ES we will use with singular as well as third person, and what is first, second and third person I have already told you. Now the last thing I am talking about here, that where to use S and where to use ES. So the verbs which ends with O, X, CH, SS, SH or ZZ, I use ES with them. For example, if I write go, it ends with O, I will use ES and it becomes goes. For example, let's take example of CH. If I write WATCH, it ends with CH, I will put ES and it becomes watches. And for all the remaining ones, I use S. One more thing I am telling you so that you understand it. First of all, if the subject is singular as well as third person, both the conditions must be there. If any one condition is there, it will not work. If both conditions are there, then and only then I will put either S or either ES. First I will see the subject. Yes, subject is singular. Yes, it is third person also. Now I will choose S or ES. How to choose S or ES? ES with the verbs with ends with O, X, CH, SS, SH or ZZ. And if the verb is not ending with either of these letters, I will simply put S. For example, if I write PLAY, play, so play is ending with Y. When it is ending with Y, I will simply put S and not ES. And if the subject is singular or second person or singular or first person or plural or first, second or third person, and I will simply put the verb first form and not S or ES. Both these I will not choose if my subject is not singular and third person both. So this is just the introductory class for the first class of tenses. I am not going to spend more minutes with you, but today is your homework that you will write at least 10 sentences with 10 different subjects with this structural formula. Whatever we have learned today, you must have write and learn that properly. That is your homework. Tomorrow again I will come with the same topic, tenses, and tomorrow we are going to study present simple tense formulas. That is, the first one is affirmative sentence, second negative, third interrogative, fourth negative interrogative, fifth WH interrogative, sixth WH negative interrogative. How to use them, how to write it, what are helping verbs, there is a lot to study for tomorrow. Today if I started, the class will be very long. I don't want to do that. So kindly do the homework, stay safe, stay hygiene. Until tomorrow, have a good day. Thank you, class.